Hello everyone, we are Karis, Jerry, Susie, and Kelly. Our group will be examining the diversity in workplace. This is our agenda. First, we will talk about the definition of diversity. Then, we will explain how diversity affects leadership styles and conflict management. Next, we will use the example of Emperor Julie in Hong Kong to illustrate how company can value diversity. Last but not least, we will give some suggestions to company that can embrace diversity. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, diversity refers to the fact of many different types of things or people are being included in something, or a range of different things or people. In this case, we'll elaborate how employees from different demographic backgrounds are included in the workplace. Our project will mainly focus on gender and age diversity. Speaking of gender diversity, it is not only about both men and women are being hired in the workplace, but it is about the treatment they receive are equitable, such as the job assigned, payroll, and fringe benefits. In modern days, the interpretation of gender is no longer limited to male and female. Since people are more concerned about the LGBTQ+ issues, companies have the responsibility to take care of the gender minority members. It is important for companies to set up policies that can enhance fairness and create a respectful culture in the workplace. Another focus of our project is the age diversity in workplace. It is about accepting people in all ages in a professional environment, gathering their opinions, and ensure that the generation conflicts are not across the board. Since people from different generations may have their own lifestyles and their life experience may differ a lot, so they may see a set of values differently and arouse conflicts. For example, the younger generation may concern about opportunities, but the older generation may choose stability over opportunities.
To simply define, a leader is a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or a country that sets direction, builds inspiring visions, creates something new for their group members. Leadership is an ability of an individual, which is mostly a leader, to influence and guide followers or the members to win as a team or an organization. There are some different leadership styles that can be distributed into 4 types: the directive, participative, a supportive, and an achievement-oriented leadership. Directive leadership refers to a management style where the leader is in complete control. Participative leadership is a style of leadership in which all members of the organization work together to make decisions. Supportive leadership is a leadership style in which the leader supports their subordinates with tools and resources. Lastly, the achievement-oriented leadership is characterized by a leader who challenges subordinates to perform work at the highest level possible. So let's talk about the relevance between the diversity and the leadership. Embracing diversity is crucial for leaders. Diversity in a company must exist if a leader of an organization wants to use the democratic and supportive leadership, because the diversity in a working place may prevent the possibility of groupthink. Let's move on to the concept of groupthink. Then what is a groupthink? A groupthink refers to a psychological phenomenon that occurs when the desire for group consensus overrides people's common sense desire to present alternatives, critique a position, or express an unpopular opinion. The prerequisites for groupthink can be largely divided into group cohesion, structural defects, and situational factors. Lack of diversity can be seen as a situational factor here. There are rationalization, peer pressure, complacency, moral high ground, stereotyping, censorship, and illusion of unanimity for the symptoms of groupthink. First of all, rationalization is when team members convince themselves that despite evidence to the contrary, the decision or alternative being presented is the best one. Peer pressure occurs when a team expresses an opposing opinion or questions the rationale behind a cohesion. The rest of the team members work together to pressure or penalize that person into compliance. After a few successes, the group begins to feel like any decision they make is the right one because there is no disagreement from any source. This can be referred as complacency. Since each member of the group views him or herself as moral, the combination of moral minds is therefore thought not to be likely to make a poor or immoral decision. When morality is used as a basis or decision making, the pressure to conform is even greater because no individual wants to be perceived as immoral. This could be referred as the moral high ground. For the stereotyping, as the group becomes more uniform in their views, they begin to see outsiders as possessing a different and inferior set of morals and characteristics from themselves. These perceived negative characteristics are then used to discredit the opposition. Censorship refers to a circumstance when the members censor their opinions in order to conform. Information that is gathered is censored so that it also conforms to or supports the chosen decision or alternative. For illusion of unanimity, because no one speaks out, everyone in the group feels the group's decision is unanimous. This is what feeds the groupthink and causes it to spiral out of control. An example of a successful company that are embracing diversity in a big way may be a quality of life services industry named Sodexo. This company is consisted of more than 460,000 employees. They showed their faith valuing on gender diversity that they tend to persist by stating that gender balance is our business. 55% of all staff members in Sodexo are women, 58% of the members on the board of directors are female, and the company also runs 14 gender balance networks worldwide. They have found that when there is an optimal gender balance within an organization, the employee engagement increases by 4 percentage points, gross profit increases by 23%, and brand image strengthens by 5 points. A company with diversity would help prevent groupthink, nurture different angles in decision-making processes, build beneficial working place atmosphere, and let the employees to actively participate in group meeting and share creative thinkings toward the topic. It would also lead to high employee engagement. This way, the leaders would be able to use their democratic and participative leadership styles. Then, what happens when there is no diversity existing in a company? What kind of problems might occur? First of all, as we had emphasized before, groupthink occurs. No participatory atmosphere will be given for the group meeting or the decision making. And this can also lead the employees to have higher levels of burnout, which will result in less productive working skills. There wouldn't be any effective teamwork too. Most importantly, the leaders won't be able to use their skills and abilities even if they are democratic or supportive, which means that there won't be effective leadership performed. Think about it. During a group meeting consisted of a group members who are all in same age and gender, would diverse aspects of opinions and different creative ideas come out? Even the leader has a democratic leadership and is supportive, the atmosphere wouldn't be such innovative compared with a group meeting grouped with different age ranges and different genders. Creative ideas coming out from different types of diverse people can be resulted in efficient outcomes or can be an innovative key direction for making up decisions. To simply summarize, embracing diversity can be very crucial for leaders when having decision making in an organization. Overall, equal distributions of company diversity should exist in order to let the leadership embrace their leadership styles.
Diversity also takes up an important role in conflict management. So therefore, we will now discuss about how diversity affects the conflict management style. First, we should define what is organizational conflict. So organizational conflict is a disagreement occur among different individuals or groups when organizational goals, interests, and values are perceivably or recognizably incompatible. So the lacking of mutual understanding is described as unavoidable, especially when resources are scarce within the company. There are three types of organizational conflict: the task conflict, interpersonal conflict, and also procedural conflict. So how gender and conflict management are linked together? We should first recognize the psychological difference between men and women, as it affects the internal process, which leads to different in ideas and behavior that will result in different managerial style and duty, especially in different of handling conflict. For women, they are more emotional sensitive, expressive verbally and non-verbally. Women usually avoid conflict, and when conflict happens, they will sympathetically listen other, reframing people's understanding and perception. Women tend to be a peacemaker, so therefore their conflict management style is less competing conflict handling. Women are considered more suitable in managing interpersonal conflict, such as individual to individual or to groups, because they are trait of being sympathetic and also translatable in people's perception, but they are not confident in negotiate work. For men, they are exactly the opposite. They are less emotion sensitive and usually simple expression, logical and factual with structural order and legalistic language. Therefore, men are more competing in conflict management. They are more capable in handling intercompany conflicts, such as through negotiation, policy, and also lawsuit, with a more rational and power driven attitude. So as you can imagine, if a company is not diversified in gender, like only men or only women, the organization will end up with less efficiency in conflict management, especially in different types of conflict, because of poor division of work and poor specialization. As a result, men or women in the company are more likely to be unsatisfied with their task. And age matters in conflict management as well, so this part will be explaining about it. As we all know, in real world, old people often being stereotyped as old, incapable, less competitive, stubborn, and not being flexible, in opposed to youth being creative and also open-minded. But when it comes to conflict management, a research from University of Johannesburg shows older people are tended to use collaborative instead of competing conflict management, which to compromise and integrate under lower power distance circumstances, but not using an aggressive or forcing method in dealing conflict. So as we can see, the missing of women and old people will result in a more competing conflict management approach, which known as less efficiency, more aggressive, more risk in generating further conflict, harmful to well-being and morale, and also it is a must in win-lose situation, but not win-win situation. So therefore, the missing of diversity is problematic in organizational conflict management.
Now we will move on to the suggestion part. It is said that higher information processing or better decision-making power with greater workplace diversity should benefit organizations. This is halfly true. To maximize the company benefits, there is also a need of growth-oriented or diversity management strategies as a moderator. In designing management strategies, we should consider both the psychological safety of employees and the information sharing system. We can create a shared perception of psychological safety, promoting social integration and well-being via positive intergroup contact. Or we can create a shared perception that encourages information sharing and integration, enhancing performance on work through information elaboration. The first strategy we suggest is decentralization, which means the responsibility for decision-making is delegated downward or across the organizational levels. Company can give decision-making power to subordinates in trivial tasks such as organizing a local PR campaign, but for crucial business decisions such as outsourcing or cooperation with other companies should be left to the managers. From the cultural perspective, since the subordinates have contribution in the work, so they will have higher motivation to work. And decentralization can reduce the power differentiation between superior and subordinate. Thus, the relationship may be enhanced. And from the task perspective, subordinates are encouraged to voice out their opinions and provide more insight to the company, so it would be a win-win situation for both the company and subordinates. Another strategies that company can adopt will be clarifying roles. Since employees are from different demographic backgrounds, by building a shared superordinate identity, they may see themselves as a team, but every member is unique. They will derive a positive and distinct identity and have clear position and responsibility. As everyone has its own roles, it will increase the sense of belonging of them. To achieve this, the superior needs to spend effort in understanding the subordinate's weaknesses and strengths. For example, people who are prudent can be the gatekeeper, and people who are outgoing can be the one to coordinate. It is important to give more chances and opportunities to different subordinates and try out who suit the position the best. To conclude, diversity is crucial to companies as it can create an ethical brand image and create a dynamic workplace. Moreover, diversity can enhance innovation. It is a key to success to the company. Other companies may face challenges in creating a diversified workplace. By addressing the psychological needs of employees and encouraging information sharing, companies will be able to achieve diversity and maximize the benefits brought by diversity.